Hello, chat. How are we doing? How are we doing? Can you guys hear me okay? Looks like the mic is coming in pretty good. Might be a touch loud. So today I was like, I don't know what to do for the Hangout stream. And so I was like, well, let's talk about Street Fighter 6 because I really want to do that. And then out of nowhere, a new Xenoblade Chronicles 3 trailer dropped. And they pushed up the release date by 2 whole months. I can't think of a major game. I'm sure there are examples, but I can't think of a major game in recent memory where that's happened. I've seen a couple people mention this, and that it's probably taken Splatoon's spot. Like, Splatoon probably got delayed, and I think that is a very salient point. That's very possible. I've already seen the trailer, but I mean, how are we going to do this stream and not watch the trailer together, right? Like, how are we going to do that? So we'll watch the trailer. It may be hard not to do, I guess, but I kind of don't want to dig into it too much because I kind of want to keep some things fresh. And I worry that overanalyzing it might spoil it, but I don't know. It may be hard to hold back as well. But yeah, let's watch the trailer. What do you say? I don't know if any of you have seen it yet. It did just come out this morning.
There you are.
By the way, like, visually, it looks incredible. Like, a huge step up from Chronicles 2. And I think the leaning into this, like, more cel-shaded style even is really working out for him.
Even though we're being chased by both nations at once.
There's a reason we met. There has to be.
That's why.
Let's go!
Come here! I got something for you!
Dude, that music, though. Also, let's just have 6 party members. Let's go.
You've got a real death wish. Now, kids, you share a common destiny.
I felt her thoughts. There were so many. And then they were a part of me. How are you inside me? Hold on.
Are we?
There's sparks in me yet.
Hang in there, you're a jet.
Yeah, they like team up to be in the mech.
Will do.
God, he looks so good.
Via a strong desire.
To the point where it doesn't look like a Switch game. It really doesn't.
Henceforth,
Yeah,
all
look at
orders are
this.
rescinded. Eliminate Ouroboros at all costs.
That is my revenge. It's payback for Nimue dying with her wish unfulfilled.
It's a wild ride, this passage of fate. We got ourselves a
The character design is fantastic, and
Why is my name on here?
My way demands we fight. Come then.
yeah,
Test
I
your
don't know.
mettle against my lance.
Nanana, help with fighting!
I've never used this kind of blade before. But all the techniques I can
It's
use
nice that we get names. I
from
need
my
to.
eyes.
All right, so we've got Noah, Mio, Uni, Taeon, or Tyon, I suppose, Lance, Senna, Riku, and Manana. +1 TV. Oh my god, here I go. I'm overanalyzing it. Full health TP, +1 TP, increased effect, no block TP. Alright. This looks insane. Like, look at how much is... Look at just this one screen, how much is going on with the UI. This is a lot to keep up with. Hi, East. Brave Assault, tactical points. Attacks during chain attack gain 70% chance to bypass defense. Man, I really just want a few hours to get my hands on the battle system to understand it, because I feel like you can make predictions, but I think mechanically these games are just so complex that you really need to get your hands on it to understand. Looks like you have different roles, though. Healer, DPS, tank, which is interesting. That's very interesting.
Bring it home! Finish!
The only thing that can change
I think in the press release it mentioned something about class changes.
Not that I have all that much time to spare, but soon.
Finding a path that lets us all live. I will make that my mission.
Looks like characters can switch roles too. Yeah. That's what I thought I saw. Maybe we can... I told my wife I was not going to buy any more collector's editions. I guess that was a lie. I guess that was a lie. Alright, hold up. Let me see if I can find this, but I don't want to accidentally show you guys my email. At least it probably won't be much. Yeah, it looked like what? There's just an art book. Steelbook. Ah, that's Steelbook. That's really the real winner. And the art book's cool too. Yeah, it probably won't be that much. Getting it from the Nintendo store, though. It's so weird because Nintendo, as you know, legendarily does not send us games early. But they send us Xenoblade early. So maybe there's a chance. Alright, yeah, let's look at this. Like in previous Xenoblade Chronicles games, battles start by facing enemies directly in the overworld. Players can control Noah as a party of 6, as well as additional characters they meet during the adventure. Each character has their own role in battle, which allows for diverse strategies. Class change. Noah is a sword fighter, specializing in close range attacks, while Mio is a Zephyr. Far away on my Zephyr, drawing enemy attention while evading their strikes. Thus, each character has their own strengths. Progressing in Adventure, players can change characters' classes, creating a customized party. Cool. A job system in Xenoblade Chronicles sounds sweet. I mean, I guess you kind of have had that before with the different trees and stuff, but each of the tag team pairs, Noah, Mio, Lance and Senna, Uni, and Tyon, can make use of the interlink system if certain conditions are met. They will then combine them into a giant form called Ouroboros. Each Ouroboros has its own powerful moveset, and deciding when to transform can be key to winning the battle. That's sick. Special edition of the game will be available via the My Nintendo store, including artwork from Matsusugu Saito, a full 250-page plus hardcover art book and steel case. More details about the special edition revealed in the future. The Blades kind of had classes in 2. Yeah, leveling up the Blades was not very good in 2. I felt like it was really annoying and tedious. And so I hope leveling and changing jobs is maybe a little bit more straightforward. It's been a while since I've played 2, but I just remember some of the conditions for leveling up the Blades was just annoying. Hey, thanks, Min-Max. Appreciate it. We're just talking some Xenoblade right now. Depending on what you equipped, your character's stats and class changed in XC2. Yeah, that is true. That sounds vaguely familiar, yes. Getting into a flow in Chronicles 2 was A, essential, and B, really fun. And so I'm interested to see kind of what they take from each of the games. I don't know. On one hand, collecting blades was kind of fun and cool, and getting a rare one was exciting, right? And I think the story with the blades, the relationship you had with the blades, the major ones was really neat. And so I don't think blades are all bad by any means. I really don't. I certainly think there is some value there, but I think I would much rather them, like Xenoblade Chronicles 1, focus on the characters. And then maybe, the variety that the blades provided can be kind of incorporated into this new job system. That could be really cool. Are you going to buy the Shantae skateboards or Pogs? Limited Run Games just posted about this item, and I'm hyped. Sorry for the unrelated message. No. Chad, I wish I could show you. 2 days ago, I kind of fucked up my knees skateboarding. I've been trying to dip my toes back into skateboarding, and I scraped my knees pretty bad. Well, I mean, it wasn't that bad. It's a scraped knee. And it's been awesome. It's been awesome. I wanted to, wake up early and go before this stream, but I was just too tired. So I didn't do it, but I cannot kickflip. I can't even really ollie. I've been getting better at my ollie. I'm getting closer, but yeah, I can't even really ollie. But no, I certainly can't kickflip. Your knees will only become stronger. Skating in your 30s is a brave move. It is, yeah, for sure. But I don't know. I really genuinely love it. I just love being out there. I love, the little triumphs that you have. I love the vibes. Everyone's just so chill. Little scooter kids are certainly annoying. But other than that, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Skateboarding is so freaking hard. It is... I'm sure I'm also just bad at it, but no, it's really insanely hard. It's insanely hard. For sure. And you can skate parks near me. Yeah, there is. So I go to the Santa Clarita skate park. I don't know if I should say that on stream, but I go to the Santa Clarita skate park, and it's awesome. And it's got some nice things. It's got it's a very good flow park where you can kind of go down this curve which leads to this other thing. A lot of things connect really well, which is cool. But it doesn't have it just doesn't have a quarter pipe or a half pipe at all. And I'd be like, man, I wish there was just a simple quarter pipe to kind of go back and forth on. I think that would be rad. I'm sure it would be busy all the time. And there is kind of a weird shaped pool that sort of serves that purpose anyway. But yeah, I wish there was a legit quarter pipe. I certainly liked DDR back in the day. I haven't kept up with it. I have. Yeah, I would love to get back into DDR. Can we look at some of the art for Xenoblade Chronicles 3? Is there... Yes. The answer is yes. Alright, let me pull this back up. Sorry, you guys have just been staring at a black screen, which is not great. Not great streaming. Alright. Anyone in chat bored? I sound like such a 30-year-old when I say that. Yeah, you guys bored? Hello, fellow kids. How are we feeling about this main character design? How are we feeling about this MC design? I think it's good. And I'm sure I will feel more attached to it later on. It's good. It's good. The jacket is sick. I want that jacket. Alright, let's... These are screenshots. This isn't really art. Maybe Gematsu? Maybe Gematsu has some art. Gematsu is a good site if you're a weeb. I would suggest you use it if you don't. It's kind of just weeb news without any bullshit. It's great. There has to be art somewhere. Any weebs in chat? Ah, thank you. Thank you, Mbun. Here, let me grab that real quick. Do it. Mbun, my man. Oh, we're going to the Japanese site. I see. We are visiting the motherland. How appropriate. Do you think we're due for a new Tekken soon? Yes, I do. Speaking of Tekken, it's what I'm wearing on my hoodie today. Yes, I think we're in for a new Tekken soon. In fact, I think there may be a tease at Evo. I think it might be a year or two away for it to actually come out, but yeah, it's certainly cooking. I feel very confident in that. Don't worry, we will switch over to fighting games here in a second. Boy, why is the Japanese site 1,000 times better than the American site? Look at this sick UI. Oh my god, Japan wins again. Oh my god. Look at how incredible this is. I mean, this is just straight up Evangelion. Like, they're not even hiding it. This is like Evangelion plagiarism, pretty much. Dude, the design of that mech is so fucking sick. I love it. This guy's sick too. I would buy a figurine of her right now. Uni looks awesome. Look at this site. This is like more hype than the trailer. Are you kidding me? Look at this class changes. You could be a fucking chakra weeb. Chakram. Not chakra. Chakram. I'm sure they're being, well, I guess the roles, right? I imagine the three roles are just attacker, defender, and healer. Maybe later on you'll get some more advanced ones. Hey, chat, we have been doing Duolingo. So can we read any of that? No. I'm gonna guess this says Noah. I want a full screen of Uni, please. Can we see the character? Is there a character tab? Chad, this is it. This is the motivation to learn Japanese. I guess all of this stuff is probably on one page. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I wish you could click on these. Dude, man. That lady mech is so cool. Japanese is hard. It's been, I mean, I've just been doing hiragana stuff so far, so it's been chill. But, yeah, I'm sure once I get to kanji, I'm fucked. Look at my little name. Or that's not my name, that's his store. Whoops. Sick. This was awesome. Clutch Mbun. I'm glad we got to look at this. This looks really, really cool. Holy shit, we're almost halfway through the stream. Let's move on to fighting games. Chat. You can just Google the cast. We might circle back around. Because I do kind of want to see them in all their glory. So, the Street Fighter hype has been building up within me, like, pretty intense. Because a new Street Fighter is like a new era, and I don't know, I'm just feeling it. I'm feeling hopeful, I'm feeling optimistic. I've been playing Street Fighter V, like, it's bubbling up within me, and I'm getting really, really excited. And I know Max just did this, but I thought it would be fun to predict the Street Fighter 6 cast. What do you say? Again, totally aware that this is not an original idea, but that's okay. We can do it ourselves. I found this on Tier Maker. It's a little bit too much, so we're not gonna focus on everybody because, like, come on. But we already know, right? Two of the characters are confirmed in the game, right? So we've got Ryu in the game. We know he's in there. And then Luke, where I don't know where he is. That's the shitty thing about this, is I don't know where fucking everybody is. So if you guys see him and I don't see him, try to point it out as best you can. I'm sure he's in here. Well, anyway. We'll just have to kind of call them out as we see them. So I thought it would be good to limit ourselves to 16 characters. I believe that is the initial roster for Street Fighter V. And I think that that's like a realistic pick. Why do they have Ryu twice? I think 16 is a realistic pick. Obviously, Luke and Ryu are already going to be in there, so that's 2 of them, right? The way this tier list is structured is there's like initial roster, and then there's like season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. I think the interesting thing to think about Street Fighter 6 is the more realistic style, and it's like, okay, what characters would be immediately good for that? And I'm seeing one that I think would be immediately good for that and was sorely missed by the community in Street Fighter V, especially considering there were a lot of Street Fighter 3 characters. Ryu, an evil Ryu. No, I think there was just 2 Ryus, because there was a Ryu down here that did not look like... No, yeah, that's just regular Ryu. This is just regular Ryu. But I think Makoto would go in really well with... If they are going to take a more grounded style... I think Makoto would do really, really well. Obviously, a very grounded fighter. Fans have been clamoring for. So I think that would be a good pick. We can maybe just kind of thin the herd here. I don't think Gen is going to be in the game. Sorry to any Gen fans. I just don't see it. Certainly not an initial roster. Come on. The Bison Dolls are not going to be in the game. Armika is interesting, right? Certainly loved, but really had like a huge chance to shine in Street Fighter V and really got a lot of the spotlight. A fan favorite in many ways, but I just think she'll get rotated out of the initial roster. I don't think she'll be in the initial roster again. I don't feel like she's super relevant to the lore. I mean, maybe she is. I don't know. But I think Armika would come, but I would put like Armika at like maybe season 2 or 3. I think Street Fighter 6 will have a long life, and I think she'll get there eventually, but I don't think she'll get there right away. Would a crossover from JoJo be too far reality? I think there are going to be crossovers. We'll talk about the crossovers, because I actually want to throw in some crossovers, because I do think it'll happen. I really believe in that strongly. I think Karine is kind of in the same position as Armika, right? Where she really had a huge chance to shine in Street Fighter V. She's been in there since the beginning. She actually is, I feel like, more relevant to the story, if I recall correctly. But I think, like this... I don't think she'll be in right away. I would say like season 3 or 4 or 2 or something like that. It's hard to predict which season, but I don't think it'll be base roster. Let's just have her hang out with Armika for right now. The thing about Karine is kind of the argument that I was making for Makoto. I do think she is, her style is a little bit more grounded, a little bit more like martial arts oriented. Martial arts oriented is a bad way to say that. Thank you, Dapper Choco, for the 8 months. He deserves all the hugs. Absolutely. Evil Ryu is never like in the base game, right? Like, for sure not. Like, let's say season 4 for him. I don't like Adon. as far as I'm concerned, Adon never needs to be in Street Fighter ever again. This is Ingrid, right? I believe this is Ingrid. I don't think Ingrid's going to be in the game. Q is interesting. Man, Q is interesting because he was kind of replaced by G in Street Fighter V. I actually think, because they're going to have, I think they're going to have at least, like, one, not including Luke, at least one, probably more than one, original Street Fighter V character in the initial 16-person roster. I think that's going to happen. And G was super, like, just in terms of, like, character design and personality and all of that, I think G could be in the initial roster. And so I don't think Q will be in the game, but I think G will. I think there's a good chance. Where's SF6 going to be in the timeline? I think it's, like, either taking place at Street Fighter 3 or after Street Fighter 3 finally. Hope he has G rules. Yeah, G has a lot of love behind him. And I think it would be a smart move to include him in the initial roster. Does that sound crazy, chat? Remy. Remy wasn't in Street Fighter V. However, I just don't see the same clamor for him that I do other characters. I don't think Remy's going to make the cut. Especially not when you have Guile and Nash around. I just don't think it's going to happen. Remy good DLC? Possibly. Possibly, for sure. 12. I'm not really into 12. This is like a personal bias. I'm not really into 12. They did do 11 in Street Fighter V, and I don't think anyone cared. I don't think. I think there was zero hype for 11. That's just my read on it. I don't think that's gonna make the cut. Don't know. Man, Sagat is interesting. Sagat is so interesting. Like, obviously, legacy character. Certainly has a lot of love. I just don't think... Unless he, like, somehow fits into with the new mechanics really well... He's just not a super exciting character, right? You just kind of tiger your way. You know the Sagat routine. And he's good. And I like Sagat. I do like Sagat. And I think he could be DLC. I don't see him making the cut for the initial roster. He was added actually pretty late to Street Fighter V, and I could see a similar thing happening here. What about Ken? Ken is a lock. There are two characters that I think will absolutely be included. Like, I don't even think it's debatable. I think Capcom is too afraid of not having Ken and Chun-Li in the base roster just because of the reaction. Ken, where even are you? I can't even find Ken. So, like, for sure, I think Ken and Chun-Li are going to be in. I have no doubt in my mind. So, like, that's like 4 characters right there, I'm pretty sure. Sea Viper is really interesting. It felt like Sea Viper was supposed to be in Street Fighter V, and never was. She's certainly not as popular as a character like Jury, but I do think she certainly made her presence known with Street Fighter 4. I feel like it's kind of time for her to return. It feels overdue. I think there's a chance she could be in the base roster. If not in the base roster, and we can change this later, I think Season 1, for sure. I don't think you're going to be in. I'm even blanking on your name. I don't think you're going to be in. I don't think... Alforte's a fun character. I don't think he's going to be in. I don't think you're going to be in. Seth. Ken is on row 6. Thank you. That That's how you call stuff out. Thank you. Yeah, Ken is for sure going to be in the game. 100%. Thank you. Why? There's so much garbage on here. Please stop. Oh my god. I just need to thin the herd. Dude, how funny would it be if the cop was in? I wish, but no, it's not going to happen. Come on. So much garbage. Okay. Even that helped a little bit. So this is really interesting. Man, added later to Street Fighter V. Obviously, the final boss of Street Fighter 4. I don't think it would be in the base roster, but I do think could be in DLC. I think like a Season 3 or 4. Maybe even a Season 5. Let's put him at Season 5 for now. Gouken. Gouken's a weird one, chat. Gouken is a weird one. I absolutely think Gouken could be in the game. But I also think he could just completely not. Probably not in base roster, right? But maybe. Maybe, right? Fuck, I'm actually really torn on Gouken. I really do think you could make an argument for him. I think they're gonna want a healthy amount of Shotos anyway. I don't know. Let's put him in like Season 1 for now, but we might move this. Okay, let's talk about Jury, shall we? The Jury is like the Baiken of Street Fighter, the character that everyone loves and almost no one plays. Extremely popular, maybe the most popular character introduced during the Street Fighter 4 era. Absolutely degenerate for Jury out there. She's so overwhelmingly popular. I feel like people were largely not happy with her implementation in Street Fighter V. So Street Fighter 6 could be a chance at redemption. I think Capcom is leaving money on the table if they don't include Jury. She will absolutely be in the game. The question is when. I am going to put her into base roster for now. Maybe that's overly optimistic, but we haven't really included that many people in the base roster. I think there's a good chance. Hakan. I love Hakan. I really liked playing Hakan in Street Fighter 4. I like his vibes. I think he's funny. I think I probably like Hakan more than the average person. I don't think Hakan is that beloved, or there's a lot of outcry for Hakan, so this might just be a me thing. I want him in. I'm gonna put him in Season 4, but he's not gonna be main roster probably, right? Oni, I don't think Oni. I don't like maybe DLC. You could make that argument, but I don't think Oni's gonna be in. Same thing with DiCaprio. Is anyone clamoring for DiCaprio to be back? I don't think so. Mike Hagar. Mike Hagar would be fun. Mike Hagar would be fun. I think there's a chance. I'm going to say no for now. But we'll see. Jury's too popular not to be in Season 1 DLC. Yeah, like, if not base roster, I think Season 1 for sure. Nikali. I don't really like Nikali at all. I don't like the way he plays. I don't like his role in the story. I don't like him. And I don't know anyone that like goes hard to bat for Nikali. I think Huber likes Nikali, so it would be like a Huber pick. But I think we're moving on from Nikali. I don't think Nikali has a shot, even as DLC. Rashid was pretty integral to Street Fighter V in a lot of ways. That theme is dope. I don't really like playing as Rashid, but I know a lot of people play as Rashid. Very popular. I think Rashid is in. I just don't know when. Let's say Season 1 DLC for now. Yeah, I think there's a super good shot that Rashid is in. I think one of the more memorable characters from Street Fighter V. Laura. Laura. What do we say about Laura? I don't think Rashid is out. I really don't. Like, why? Why would Rashid be out? I mean, like, think about like Rashid versus Fong, right? Like, Fong is definitely out. There's no way Fong is in Street Fighter 6. I would bet money on it. Laura is popular for obvious reasons. A lot of people also played Laura. I don't think she makes base cut unless, like, maybe she'll have some interaction with Sean. Like, maybe Sean will be in there, and then they'll include Laura. I think Laura is like Season 2 DLC. That's the vibe I get from Laura. She's well liked. I think a lot of people played her. I think it would make for a good DLC announcement. Cody. Cody's so fucking awesome. But I feel like not enough people appreciate the awesomeness of Cody. And Cody was sick in both Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5. He had, like, this awesome Street Fighter 5 glow up that I don't feel like we collectively appreciated it nearly enough. However, with that being said, I think Cody is, like, forever doomed to being DLC. I think there's a chance that he shows up, but probably not until later. Probably, like, let's put him at Season 3, I guess. I think he's forever doomed to be DLC, and it's kind of a shame. Colleen. I think Colleen's cool. Aha. Haha. I just don't think she's base roster material. I don't even know if she would make the DLC cut this time, unless she's, like, working with Gil, doing shenanigans, and they include her in the story. I think it could happen. I am going to say no for now, though. Ed is interesting. Ed was an experiment for Street Fighter V, right? Where he's a character with simplified inputs. I think he's cool. I think he was a good addition to Street Fighter V. I think he was an interesting experiment. I don't know if he makes the cut here. Because you have to also keep in mind, like, they're going to have new Street Fighter 6 characters as well. I just don't see the clamor for Ed in a way that gives me confidence, even as DLC. Everything I'm saying could be said about Falk as well. I think it's kind of the same. I don't know. Do you guys agree with that? I could definitely see some disagreements for Ed and Falk. Manat. I think Manat is so cool. I love her design. I think she has a wonderful personality. No one's going to take me seriously on that. But I do. I do think she's a good personality. I don't really like playing Manat, though, is the problem. That's kind of like the sad part of Manat is like, I like everything about her except kind of playing her. She's such a cool character, though. I really hope she would make DLC. I'm going to put her with Laura in Season 2. Zeku. I don't think Zeku makes the cut. Kind of a cool character, but I don't think he really kicked up much of a storm. Guy. So Guy was gone in Street Fighter V. I'm sure there are Guy fans out there. I just don't know. I don't think he makes the cut. He might be DLC. He definitely might be DLC. Kage. I feel like Kage / Evil Ryu, right, always is DLC for Street Fighter. Always. Like, that's such a safe bet. So, like, I think he kind of belongs right with Evil Ryu, where, like, yeah, it's probably going to happen because they always do it. Right? Abigail. I was playing some Abigail very recently, like yesterday. I think Abigail's pretty fun. I do. I like Abigail. He's just big and dumb and, like, he's gigantic. I think he's a fun character. I think kind of like Hakan, though, right? Like, Hakan didn't survive over into Street Fighter 4. I think kind of he had his moment in Street Fighter 5. and I'm not sure where he would fit into Street Fighter 6. So I don't know. I'm gonna say no for now. We're putting a lot of these people in the trash here. Chun-Li, by the way, is absolutely gonna be in. 1000%. Rolento. Maybe it's DLC. He missed 5 completely. I think there's a good chance that Rolento would be in. I think they're gonna have some Final Fight representation. It just is like they have so many to choose from at this point that Rolento is Final Fight, right? I believe so. Yeah, they just have so many to choose from that I don't know who it's going to be. These three kind of go together. Because then we have some big boys coming up. I love Hugo. Again, I probably like Hugo more than the average person. I would love to see Hugo. Hugo is definitely somebody I would put in DLC. And I do think they need to have some big boys, but I don't know. Because the thing is, I feel like from the Final Fight crowd, right, and I think Chad is picking up on this, Poison is easily the most recognizable and easily the most beloved. And for good reason. Poison is fucking awesome. She's just a sick character. She has the fan sentiment. She has the legacy. I think she brings the hype. For that reason, though, I kind of think she's a good DLC character. Maybe even more so than initial roster. But I do think there's a good chance she'll be in the game. Guile was like Season 1 DLC, right, for Street Fighter V, which is pretty crazy. Guile's pretty essential. In Luke's story, Luke is actually mentored by Guile quite a bit. And so we know, right, that Luke is going to be a big part of the story. And so I actually think Guile is a pretty safe pick here for that reason. You need a Guile, right? Whether it's Guile or Nash or Remy. I think it's going to be Guile, though. And also Daigo mates Guile. So there's that. I think I feel confident enough about Guile to put him in the initial roster. Luke is out. Luke is the main character of Street Fighter 6 and was one of the 2 characters in the trailer. What are you talking about? There's no one more in than Luke. E-Honda's awesome, but is criminally underappreciated. I don't even think there was that much hype when he was added as in late Street Fighter V DLC. I don't think he's gonna be in, sadly. I think out of like the World Warriors roster, I think he's one of the easier cuts, which is a shame because he is awesome. Blanca. Certainly a casual favorite for sure, and Blanca is just awesome. Added very late to Street Fighter V. But I think you kind of felt him miss it. It felt like Blanca was added too late in Street Fighter V. Like, they kind of fucked that up. And I do think you kind of... Like, with Street Fighter 6, right? It's such a hard roster to balance. I do think you're going to want that recognizability for sure. And Blanca just screams that. Blanca-chan is also awesome. Blanca's rough because of how attached to Ono he is. For sure, he is very... He doesn't really fit with the realistic style. So, Ulf, you actually bring up something that I want to talk about. He does not really fit with the realistic style, but because it's Street Fighter, like, I definitely think 2 things can be true simultaneously. I do think they are going to go for a more grounded, realistic style with Street Fighter 6, right? Everything is kind of screaming that. I do think that's true. But also because it's Street Fighter, I do think some of that weirdness is going to have to be translated somehow. And I think a good test for that is Blanca, right? Like, how would Blanca look in Street Fighter 6? because there's so many weird characters that you kind of have to figure that out, right? We can move this because I do think this is like a risky pick, right? But I think there's a chance Blanca makes base roster. Zangief, man, who doesn't love Zangief? Like, for real. It would feel wrong if Zangief wasn't in the game. But Zangief was in... He was base Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5, right? So, everyone loves him. Everyone loves Geef. It feels wrong to have a Street Fighter game without him. But I just feel like you have so many options for grapplers. I don't know if he makes base roster. You do need a grappler. Yeah, I agree. The question is just which one. I think you're always in danger of leaning too heavily on Street Fighter 2 for the base roster, which I'm trying not to do, but I'm finding myself doing. Fuck. This is getting hard. Yeah, man. I guess, like, it might be easier if we step away from Street Fighter 2. To maybe get other locks in there. I don't really know anything about Maki, but I know a lot of people like Maki. So let's not put her in the no way tier yet. Because, like, speaking of Street Fighter 2, somebody that I think is very likely to show up. Chat, do you know who I'm thinking of? Can you guess? Can you guess who I think is very likely to show up in Street Fighter 6? Like, almost guaranteed. Fei Long, correct. Fei Long perfectly fits the style. Was completely absent in Street Fighter 5. I think there's a fantastic chance that Fei Long would be in. I think Fei Long is a lock in one way or the other. At the very least, is DLC. I think Fei Long is, like, for sure. Street Fighter 3 isn't really new blood, though, at this point. Street Fighter 3 got so much love in Street Fighter 5, it's, like, crazy. Like, it got a lot of love. So, like, Street Fighter 3 is not really lacking representation in a lot of ways. Fuck. There's some interesting choices here. I don't think, like, if we've agreed that Guile is going to be in the game, I don't think Nash is going to be at the base roster at the very least. I don't know. I don't even remember what happened to Nash in Street Fighter 5. Nash is cool, though. Don't get me wrong. That's not Nash hate. I don't think DJ is going to be in the game. I don't think T-Hawk's going to be in the game either. Maybe as DLC. I don't know. I don't think so. Slide Akuma into the base roster. I'm with you. Akuma's definitely going to be in the game. And this is what I was thinking about. But Akuma, kind of like some other characters, I feel like is always doomed to DLC because he's a pretty hype DLC announcement. And I think he fits the DLC role well. Of course Akuma is going to be in the game. Of course. Without question, right? But I think it's like Season 1 DLC. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to see him in base roster. I think that'd be sick. But I think it's going to be Season 1 DLC. Yeah, he's a DLC seller for sure. He's like a character you purposefully save for DLC. He's perfect in that role. Lucy is cool. I don't think she's going to make the cut. I don't think it's going to happen. Dan will be in the game, but I think Dan will be like, you know, Season 2 or 3. I think Dan is like safe pick as DLC for sure. Birdie's a cool character, but Birdie was base roster SF5, which was a weird pick, right? I think Birdie kind of had his time to shine. I don't think he makes Street Fighter 6. I don't think it happens. Dan deserves base. It'd be fun. It'd be fun, right? Like, Dan is such a fun character. He is. And, like, he has an amazing personality. And he's so fun and goofy and dumb. But I think for those reasons, he makes a good DLC character. You know, you really can't fight for Dan from a lore perspective, right? Sakura is my favorite Street Fighter character, period. She's awesome. I love her so much. She's not a base character, unfortunately. She should be. I feel like I'm far from the only person that likes her. I think she's a very popular character. I think she's pretty well represented when she does show up. But unfortunately, I don't think she makes the base roster cut. I almost want to put her in base just as like a sign of hope. But guest character. We could talk. Is this a good time to talk about guest character? We kind of need a break from all this trash. 1000%. I think I believe in my heart of hearts that SNK is going to do a collaboration with Street Fighter, and you're going to see a Street Fighter 6 character as KOF 15 DLC, and I think you're going to see a KOF 15 character as Street Fighter DLC. I don't know who. I mean, you can make like an obvious pick, like a Kyo or something, right? Or like a Ryu, right? That'd be cool, but kind of boring. So I don't know who it's going to be, but I would bet money that you're going to see an SNK collaboration. I mean, seeing Terry in Street Fighter would be so sick. Yeah, I would love that. Vanessa would be a pretty wild pick for Street Fighter. But yeah, I really think it's going to happen. They just did a Street Fighter V collaboration for the King of Fighters mobile game, and SNK has obviously built up a presence. And I think if anything, you know, looking at fighting games the last 10 years, right? Crossovers work. And companies will go out of their way to do it. You saw Samurai Shodown collaboration with Soul Calibur 6, right? You saw a For Honor collaboration in Samurai Shodown. Like, SNK has really been trying to get out there and do collaborations. And curiously, it hasn't happened with KOF 15 yet, but I think it's because they're waiting for Street Fighter 6 to kind of roll out more information. But I 100% think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. I totally think a Tekken crossover could happen as well. I don't necessarily think it is just limited to SNK. I would be kind of shocked, I guess, if Capcom did a Western crossover. They just don't really do that with Street Fighter. But I guess it could happen. Baiken was in Sam Show? Maybe it was Baiken. Maybe it was Baiken. Hey, Dapper Devnall, how you doing? Yeah, so I think that's going to happen. Mods, if you're there, well, I guess it's kind of hard to do a poll. Who do you think the collaborations are going to be? Because I think it's going to happen. All right, let's get back to this. This is so hard. I thought I was going to fly through this a little bit easier, but I'm being kind of indecisive. Another thing that I think could happen that we haven't really talked about yet, right? Kind of out of nowhere, Akira from Rival Schools came in, right? And her brother was her V-Trigger. I think they're definitely showing their hand a little bit. I think a Rival Schools character could absolutely be in Street Fighter. I've never been lucky enough to play Rival Schools, so it's not an area that I have a lot of knowledge in. But I think a Rival Schools crossover, or a character at the very least, is going to happen. The question is just like, who is it going to be? I definitely think it could be base roster. Right? Yeah. Okay. This is like the main dude, right? Okay. God, Rival Schools is a fighting game I've always wanted to play, literally my entire life, and I've just never had the chance. I want to so fucking badly because the character designs are godlike. Look at this, chat. So fucking sick, dude. Yeah. I'm going to be bold and put Batsu in base roster. We had him in... I think I was just quickly moving characters, but let's put him in base roster. How many do we have for base? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Okay, we're going to have to make some cuts because we're already filling up. Zangief, man. I don't know. I'm uncertain. Let's put him as Season 1 DLC. Dulcim, obviously a fan favorite. Obviously a legacy character. Obviously a character very important to Street Fighter. I think he will be in the game. I don't think he'll necessarily make base roster. Same thing with same thing with Balrog. I think he's awesome, clearly beloved, very cool character. Probably DLC. Same thing with Vega. Bison's interesting. I think Bison could be base roster. It honestly just depends on how important he is in the story. How many SF6 original characters will there be? Great question. I think not. I think. Let's say you have a 16-person roster. Let's look at the Street Fighter V roster, shall we? Let's just kind of base it off that. Let's go to Wikipedia. All right, base roster. How many of these were brand new? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think there's going to be 4 OG characters. So if that includes Luke, right, that means you've got 3 original characters, which if we take that away from... So really, 4 original characters, we only have 12 spots to fill up on this list. Yeah, Bison's tricky. I mean, he'll be in the game at some point, right? It's just a matter of when. Let's put him as Season 1 DLC for now. Season 1's going to be fucking packed, y'all. And if you have any strong predictions, you know, don't let this just be me. Like, throw them in. Cammy. Cammy is so popular, right? Kind of an easy character to get into and play. Extremely well-liked, right? She's going to be in the game. She is. She's going to be in the game. Boy, this is Eagle. I think... Here's the thing. I don't really know anything about Eagle outside of the fact that his design is fucking awesome. I kind of just want Eagle to be in the game for that reason alone. But there are a lot of repeats on this list. Man, Cammy's so tough to place. I totally think Cammy could be base roster. But let's put her in the good old Season 1 DLC for now. I think there are just characters that I would like to see maybe a little bit more. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12 with Luke. Maki. I've definitely seen some hype for Maki to return. She's a character that's been ignored. She was Alpha, right? I don't really know anything about Maki, but I think she would be a hype pick. And that's something that Street Fighter V did really well, is they would have kind of hype, weird picks out of nowhere. So I think Maki could, let's put her in like Season 2 seems less crowded. Let's put her in Season 2. Yeah, we'll have to move things around for sure. Rose is awesome. She's a lot like, I feel like Rose is kind of like Cody in a way, where she is kind of awesome, but is super underappreciated. Like the people that love her dearly, but there's not that many of them. I think Rose could be DLC. At best, I also think there's a chance that she may not be in the game at all. Rose and Minot obviously go together. Yeah, I think Rose not coming is like not the worst suggestion. I don't care. This is I'm gonna put Sakura base roster. It's not happening, and I don't care. I just want her to be in the game. Fuck it. We'll move things around. Axel. Not Axel. Alex. I'm thinking guilty here. Alex. Alex is cool. I feel like no one plays Alex. He's cool though. I like Alex. I think he's a cool character. I don't think he makes the cut, unfortunately. Dudley, it's a fucking crime that Dudley was not in Street Fighter V at all. Dudley is one of the most lovable characters in Street Fighter history. We're going to give Dudley a base roster pick for now. Only is full of Alex. I don't know. I'm out of the loop, I guess, but I feel like I never see Alex, but I don't play a lot of online either, so maybe I'm just misinformed. But yeah, I just don't feel like I see a lot of Alex. Will Mega Man be in? I don't think so. There might be a Mega Man outfits like Street Fighter V. Ibuki. Ibuki's super beloved. I feel like Ibuki is always well represented. Cool character. Probably DLC. Right? Necro. Necro's a weirdo. And was one of the Street Fighter 3 characters that was not represented in Street Fighter 5. Let's put him as DLC for now. No Necro P's. I feel like I'm not really crazy about him either. I just want Eagle to be DLC because I think it would be hype. I think he's one of those characters where like the character design is so good that mechanically you could do a lot with him. You could just completely rewrite the book on him. I think it'd be fun. Oro. Oro was Street Fighter 5 DLC. I know Brian F. plays a lot of Oro. He seems really cool. I don't really know much about him. Don't think he's going to show up at 6. I feel like that maybe they're going to focus on the Street Fighter 3 characters that didn't get love in Street Fighter 5. Because a lot of them did. Elena is one of those characters. Elena was in Street Fighter 4. Notoriously the Healing Ultra, which was despised, but also kind of hilarious. Gamerbee, shout out. Some of these are duplicates. You want to play Elena? Yeah, I think Elena would be fun. I think Elena kind of fits into the style really well. Let's put her in. Yeah, I think DLC is a good pick for Elena. Yun and Yang. I don't have any love for Yun and Yang. I don't need to see them back. I think they're pretty popular characters, though, that are well represented when they are in the game. But I don't care about them. Yeah. I'm going to say no, but I also could see DLC. Gil was Street Fighter 5 DLC, which is cool. I don't think he's going to come back. I think Akira being added to Street Fighter 5 was fucking awesome. I think it was so cool. And I think it was Capcom showing their hand that they're going to have rival schools in Street Fighter 6. I don't think it will be Akira again. I actually think Batsu is maybe a safer choice. Akira could totally be in, but we're going to go with the Batsu pick for now. We already talked about Sagat. Ken we have in already, right? No, we don't. Did we not? Yeah, we put Ken in. Why are there so many duplicates? What the fuck is going on? I'm 7 minutes over time. I just like talking about Street Fighter, chat. Why are there so many duplicates? Get off my lawn. Did we talk about Nash yet? We did talk about Nash. I think they're going to put Guile over Nash. Guile is pretty important to Luke's story. Fuck. Now we have to handle the Street Fighter 2 characters. I think Vegas DLC. Okay. I don't know where. Did I? Or I already did that. This list is fucking me hard. I should have picked a better list. This is my fault. Did we already grab everybody? We didn't talk about Sean. I think Sean could come back. I think Sean could come back. Fuck Violent Ken forever. I don't care. I think it's just fun to make fun of Violent Ken. Okay. All right. So let's like talk about our list, right? Obviously, season 1 is way too packed. Way too packed. How many characters do we have in base roster? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay, so we need to get that down. Why isn't Luke on this list? So we need to cut one of these characters. Okay. Who do we cut? I actually think this base roster is not that bad. It's kind of from all over the place. I guess Alpha isn't that well represented outside of Sakura, but... Base is way too small, even if not including brand new. They will want to mention MK11. No, I don't think that's true. I think 16 is totally fine and reasonable and realistic. Pay extra for jury. I think you're right. I think Dan is an alpha character, but we don't have Dan in base roster. Okay, so I think the most reasonable ones to cut from base would be G, probably Batsu and Sakura. I think Street Fighter 4 had an even smaller base roster, right? The playable character roster of the arcade version includes the cast of the original Street Fighter 2, all 12 characters, including the 4 Shadow of the Grandmasters, and 4 new characters. Yes, there's 4 Head 16 as well. Yep. Man, I don't know. Street Fighter 6 is going to be such a weird beast. We got to cut one. Is Blanca too weird for base roster? Do we cut Blanca? Gotta cut a Shoto. How many Shotos do we have? 1, 2, 3. And Luke is a Shoto as well, right? Rather cut G instead of Blanca, to be honest. I mean, in terms of like casual appeal, Blanca beats G all day, right? 3 is all we need for Shotos. Yeah. Probably. I mean, Sakura's not going to be in the base roster. It kills me. I wish she was. It'd make me so happy, but... Yeah, a little redundant, I suppose. We don't have a grappler, chat. We don't have a grappler. And there is absolutely going to be a grappler. Grappler could easily be a new character, right? It could be like an Abigail situation. Zangief has to be base roster. Cut Ken as DLC. I wish that was true. I would totally cut Ken for Sakura. It's never going to happen. Ken is like more popular than Ryu, I feel like, in some ways. Armika? Yeah, maybe. I think bumping Geef up to base roster is probably a good call. Boy, this is kind of a Street Fighter 2 heavy base roster. What was the breakdown of Street Fighter 2 characters in Street Fighter 5 base roster? We gotta use science for this. Ken is fine. It's just Ken players online are super annoying. So I have this like weird bias against Ken. All right. So Street Fighter 2 characters in base roster Street Fighter 5. Cammy, Dulcim. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Street Fighter 2 was half of the roster for Street Fighter 5. And I think that speaks to the legacy and longevity of Street Fighter 2, right? Do I have any interest in the Dragonflight reveal? I wish I did. Like, in reality, the time I spent with WoW is some of my most cherished gaming memories of all time. Like, that game really gets to me. I had a lot of fun with WoW back in the day. And it shames me that, like, I just don't give a single solitary shit about WoW anymore. I just don't. It just died inside of me. And, like, I feel the same way about WoW right now as I do FIFA. And, like, maybe someday it could reignite. But, yeah, unfortunately, I just don't, sadly. There's a new Kendrick album coming out next month? Fuck yeah, I had no idea, actually. That's an event. That'll be hype. Cool. All right, do we have any other roster talk predictions? I need some strong, firm opinions, chat. How many Street Fighter 2 characters do we have in the base roster? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Man. Because, like, the DLC is kind of a crapshoot, right? It could be anything. I think the real thing to focus on is who we have in the initial roster and who makes the cut there. Don't see Urien. Very good call. Very good call. Urien, people love Urien. I feel like a lot of people play Urien or did play Urien in both Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter 5. There's Urien. Yeah. Urien is totally DLC, for sure. I think it'd be sick if Urien was in base roster, but... Swap Z for Mika. You think so? You could do that, right? Because Armika and Zangief are so close, right? Where, like, Zangief could kind of be part of the story, even if he's not base roster. Man, Armika players are so annoying to fight. I'm so bad against Armika players. But she's a cool character. All right, chat. Let's do it. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do Armika base. Yeah, Luke is, like, weirdly not on this list. Here, let's pretend this guy is Luke. Shall we? So that means, including Luke, we need to have a roster of 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's one we got to cut. There's one we got to cut, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, there's one we got to cut. Man, is Batsu too bold of a pick for base roster? Cut Blanca. Blanca certainly stands out the most here, just in terms of character design. Yeah. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe just the weirdness with Ono cuts Blanca single-handedly. I want to believe in Dudley as base. I want to so bad. Yeah, maybe we cut Blanca. Maybe we cut Blanca. Chat, if I predict this roster, the base roster 100%, if I do that, you owe me $5. You owe me $5. Gotta have grand introductory characters. Yeah, you have to have a hype season 1 for sure. You have to be off the chain for season 1. Who says off the chain anymore? What the fuck is wrong with me? Fuck. Okay. Culling Dudley from base would be ghetto chat. Like, everyone would be happy if Dudley was in base roster. Everyone. The other thing that we have to consider, chat, and hold on. Let me refill my coffee. The angle that we haven't talked about the space roster yet is ease of play, right? And I think that that's something that Street Fighter 6 is going to be very concerned about, right? And so it's like, okay, well, how realistically, how easy are these characters to play and pick up and understand? And obviously they could change things for Street Fighter 6 mechanically, but like, how many charge characters we got here, right? Makoto, charge, right? Guile, charge. Chun-Li, charge. Dudley, charge. That's probably too many charge characters in the base roster. Like, people from a casual perspective, people notoriously hate charge characters. They just don't. They straight up don't play them. So do we have too many charge characters? Dudley's charge, right? Am I misremembering? I could be fucking it up. I could have sworn Dudley had charge moves in. Dudley isn't charge? Okay. All right. Thought I was missing that out. I thought at least one of his moves was. But, yeah. Balrog certainly is, for sure. Dudley's motion. Okay. So that was stupid of me. Forget that. Don't have to worry about Dudley. Pretty sure Makoto was charged, though, right? It's been a minute. And the thing is like, how are they going to handle ease of play? Because, we talked about, like, Ed and Falk. Yeah, it's absolutely cool to post Makoto fan art that you made. Makoto's motion as well? Am I losing my mind? What the fuck is wrong with me? Yeah, she's all motion. She's all motion. Alright, so we don't have to worry about that. Why did I think she was charged? Yeah, nope. She's motion. Return your SF card now. I would actually argue it's because I've played so much Street Fighter that it's hard to remember what everyone does. So if anything, it makes my Street Fighter card stronger. Chun-Li is definitely charged. That I know for a fact, of course. It's like, would they ever dare to change Chun-Li's motions, right? They're so, like, can you really change spinning bird kick? Let's check out this. I should probably check and make sure. I trust you, but for the safety of this channel, I should make sure that it's not lewd. It's super not. It's super sick. Guys, check out this art from Noe? Is that how you pronounce your name? Sorry if I butchered that. Look at how sick this art is. This is incredible. This is like professional grade artwork. Like, this could totally be like an unlockable in Street Fighter 6. It's so cool. This is amazing. Well done. I don't know. I'm really, I think this was another thing that Max was talking about recently. Right? Like, making fighting games easier for people. And, like, certainly there's a conversation to be had there. Straight up, chat. Not many people play fighting games, and if they do play fighting games, they play them for, like, a week. Like, it just... Fighting games certainly still have a problem that they've kind of always had. But the thing is, right, and Max has made this argument, and I agree with him wholeheartedly, just making the motions simpler, like, yeah, I guess on one hand, it does solve the problem, because, like, there are just people that are so intimidated by that barrier, so frustrated by beating their head against that barrier, that, like, maybe it would ease that frustration, and therefore heighten their commitment to the game, right? So I think there's an argument to be made, for sure. But at the same time, if you just make things easier, it's just going to be easier for the people that already know what they're doing, right? And so, like, the good become greater, and the great become unstoppable. And that's just a fact, right? That execution barrier is really vital for that, in a way. Does that make sense? I'm a hardcore casual fighting game player. I just want good offline content. And make no mistake, I'm trash at fighting games. I have no delusions of grandeur. I just like them. That's it. That's all. Like, that's the only claim that I have about myself, is that I just like fighting games. And so I'm certainly not an authority on this, but I do like talking about it. So I don't think the problem, right, is necessarily simplifying inputs, or that, like, that's where it stops. But the fact is, like, for those of you in the know, when you do a dragon punch, right, you don't do forward, down, down, forward. That's not how anyone who does dragon punches consistently does a dragon punch. You're not, like, thinking through those motions as you do them. You just, you do the classic, like, waggle on the controller. Like, you wiggle back and forth to do a dragon punch. But the game doesn't really communicate that to you. It doesn't really communicate that like, that's how you should be doing dragon punches, or if you do the waggle, right, that you're going to have a much easier time doing a dragon punch, right? And they should be telling you that. Like, they don't, there's like shortcuts to doing moves in so many fighting games, right? That you don't necessarily have to do the motions in the way that, like, the command list is presenting the motions in order to accomplish them. The game does not tell you that. There's nothing in the tutorial about that at all. It's just not there, right? And so I think a lot of people don't even realize that like things could be easier, or things could be helping them, because the game just straight up doesn't tell them, and there's no reason for them not to do that, right? So it's an education problem, and it's always been an education problem. I don't think it is strictly an execution problem. You know, and in some level, right, like, you could have hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of tutorial content in your fighting game, so you probably don't want to, like, go too overboard. But I think there are a few basic things that need to be included for fighting game education to improve, and they need to be in the game. No disrespect to FGC content creators. They're absolutely vital for, like, for new players, for players that want to get better. You know, I think they're a key component of this, but I think talking to you about, like, shortcuts and, like, how to make moves easier, like they're not as hard as you think, or ways to make, you know, like dragon punches or 360s or all that stuff, like things you can do to make those things easier. I think that would be super good. The other thing that would be really good is, I think overwhelmingly, from like a super casual perspective, you need to instill the concept of safe and unsafe to players, right? Casual players just don't understand that. And I think you mention frame data and they get super intimidated. And so I don't even think you need to mention frame data, but I do think it's important to kind of steer the conversation in that direction, where it's like, this is why you can't just spam DP and have it work. Dragon Punch is amazing. It's a vital tool, but if you rely on it too much, it is a move that you can punish every single time, right? Like those sorts of things. Or like why you shouldn't spam sweep, right? You sweep and it gets blocked, that's a free punish, right? Like, so that's what the game needs to communicate, where it's like, I think casual players love spamming sweep or DP because they are powerful moves and they just want to do the best thing that they have, right? Like, you just don't get the same level of satisfaction hitting a jab or a short as you do, you know, a meteor hit. I actually think what you need most to have fun with a fighting game longer is a buddy or two to play with. Yeah, Kane Alex, you're 1000% right. I think fighting games are so niche, and you know, I think if you're older, right, if you're like me and you're in your 30s, like just getting together with people to play fighting games is like maybe a little bit harder than it should be, or it feels that way anyway. What if you had like a mentor system, right? What if the game was like, hey, like, you're good at this game, or at least you're like good enough to help somebody, right? And what if they're like, this player needs help, like this player has requested that they need help, we'll give you like fight money if you just spend like 20 minutes helping them, right? And like encouraging people to get together, to voice chat, to maybe even get on Discord with each other, and offering you an in-game reward for doing that, for helping people. And then, you know, the student could rate you at the end, right? And so if you do a great job, you get even more fight money, right? Like, that would be awesome. Because again, I think fundamentally fighting games have an education problem more than anything else. Those never work out well, in my opinion. There's certainly, yeah. So what I'm saying is like idealistic, right? So I don't think your opinion is wrong, Rappy. I do think it is hard to implement well. And I do think there's a way for people to take advantage of it, or like people are just going to lose patience, or it's hard to do. It's hard to do for sure. But in an ideal world, it would be sick. A shower thought. If they turned combo trials into a DDR-like minigame, I'd be an execution god. Yeah, combo trials are another perfect example. I'm actually really glad you brought them up, Tekken Player. A lot of times combo trials are way too hard. where like players just don't have like, and I think they should be hard because I think for experienced players, it's really fun to try to do that stuff, right? And so I'm not saying they should be strictly easy, but I feel like there should be, and Guilty Gear Strive kind of does a good job of this, right? It's Guilty Gear Strive, the way that it handles its tutorial by breaking it up into levels and kind of like building up as you go along. That's exactly the kind of approach I think you need for fighting games. And I think it's something that Street Fighter could learn from. Because like if a brand new player jumps into a Street Fighter V trial, they're just not going to get very far. It's just not happening. They just don't know. Like they can't even put the pieces together to make it happen. And so I think there should be like beginner, intermediate, and maybe master trials. And like for the master trials, fucking go nuts. Like do the most insane shit in the game possible. Like that's awesome. But I think tiers of trials would be really smart. When the next Street Fighter 6 announcement hits, we try to get max on the next frame trap. I'd love to have max on the frame trap. I think we'd have a lot to talk about. He certainly, like, we come kind of from two different perspectives, and so I think that's valuable. I like character-specific tutorials as well. So, to Street Fighter V's credit, that's actually something they kind of do well, right? They have demonstrations. I think they're kind of poorly organized, but they have demonstrations for each character where they're like, okay, here's kind of this character at a glance. Here's what they do. We're going to show you a demo of them doing things. Here's what, like, you know, light, medium, heavy versions of that do. That's all really good. And then when they add new mechanics, right, like they add V-Skill 2 or things like that, they go over those mechanics. So I think that stuff is good. I do think they could be more in depth, though, right? And so, along with combo trials, I think character-specific tutorials, I think you need feedback, right? I think as a new player, somebody can tell you, like, oh, this move has armor, or, oh, this move is throw invulnerable, right? You don't know what that means. You don't know what the fuck that means. For an intermediate player, that's useful information. They can take that and run with it. For a new player, you have no idea what the fuck that means. Armor? I don't see my guy putting on armor. What the hell is that, right? You know, they don't know any terms whatsoever, right? So what you need is feedback. And I wish that there was a way for the game to take a look at what a player is doing and provide that feedback in real time, right? So let's say the tutorial is, let's practice doing a medium kick into a dragon punch, right? Very basic combo that's like practical and useful, right? You can take that and run with it in a real match, right? What I want the game to do is not just have a binary success or a binary and fail. I want it to be like, you pressed the button too early, or you pressed it too late, or, oh, like, you did the motion this way, you should do it this way, right? And you kind of have things that are sort of like that, like you can see your inputs in pretty much all fighting games. But I think having, like, some sort of in-game sensei and trying to make it a little bit more personal and provide that real-time feedback, I think it would help people so much. I wish combo tutorials would have the button inputs instead of the low kick, high punch, low kick icons. Sure, I get that. I get that. The problem with that, though, here for FF9 is a lot of people just remap their buttons anyway. But I guess you could just have the tutorials change to reflect that. Street Fighter V, it's so annoying. It's so dumb. No one does combo trials with the move names. No one does that. Everybody switches it to button inputs. Why even make us go do that switch? It's so dumb. The terminology is a huge barrier to entry. It is realignment for sure, right? Even the like light punch, medium punch, heavy punch, right? Like a lot of people still call that jab strong fierce or, you know, you have like your short forward roundhouse, right? That shit is super confusing. In game, there should be a fighting game glossary. Every term should be in there. Frame trap should be in there. Because, like, I think what a lot of casual players do is they get excited, right, about a fighting game, and then they go and watch a tournament, and they walk away from that tournament feeling more isolated than when they walked in, right? Because they'll hear a term like Okizemi, and they're like, I don't know what the fuck that means, right? And it won't just be like one mention of a thing. It'll be like jargon on top of jargon on top of jargon on top of jargon. Even hearing like, oh, that's plus minus, right, I think really fucks people up. But that's not the commentator's fault, right? That lingo, like every sport has lingo, right? Football has lingo, right? You're not going to get away from that. And I think it's unfair to expect the people that do know what they're talking about to not use that. So if we just accept that it's going to be used, we kind of need to standardize it across the game and give a resource for players to focus on. Like, I'm pretty sure I know what a frame trap is, but even now I still doubt myself. A frame trap is like when you... All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a test right now. I'm going to tell you what a frame trap is, and then we're going to look it up. A thing that I've looked up a number of times. So frame trap is when you basically time your attacks to hit the opponent on the startup animation of their attack, right? And so they can't get their move out, right? You time it, and so like you know that you're going to hit them in the startup of their attack, so they're trapped, right? They keep trying to hit a button and they keep getting punished for it, right? So let's see how close I am. Two attacks back-to-back that leave a very small gap between them. The gap will be shorter than the defender's fastest attack, which means if they try to attack with a normal, they will get counter-hit, right? So I certainly didn't say it perfectly, but I got the gist of the idea. But even this, just like, this fighting game glossary is so good. You could just see a video. Yeah, so see, he's trying to start up an attack there, and he gets hit. Counter hit. Options. Oh man, somebody brought up option selects. What an interesting topic option selects are. Maybe it's just because I don't use them, but even the very concept of option selects I don't like. I think option selects are one of those things that are like a needless barrier. So the way that an option select works, to my understanding, is like basically you input commands in such a way where what comes out will change depending on what the opponent does, right? So if the opponent does this, your character will do this option, like automatically, based on how you input it. And then if the character does the other option, so it's meant to give you an advantage, but it's a pretty complex thing that I don't think we should keep option selects in the game. All right, a situation where performing the same inputs can lead to several different outcomes depending on how the characters interact, often abbreviated as OS. A common option select is the buffer. Press a normal attack and then try to cancel into a special. If you do this from far away, the normal attack will whiff, and your special cancel does nothing. However, if your opponent gets hit by your attack, the special cancel will work automatically without any extra thought or changes to the input on your part. Yeah, so it really just... It kind of is like a cover your ass way that you input things, where it's like, okay, regardless of what happens here, I'm going to do the right thing. Yeah, but that's pretty advanced. So like you saying like, man, option selects confuse me. Absolutely. They're super confusing. Right? Because then you also, I feel like we're getting into Street Fighter 4 territory here. Then you also have plinking, right? How many of you know what plinking is? And it's just like, how does a new player stand a chance? And like, admittedly, new players should not be looking at this stuff, but they hear this terminology, and I think they get it in their heads that they should be focusing on this stuff, and you absolutely shouldn't. An input trick where you press 2 different buttons on 2 consecutive frames. Read that again. An input trick where you push 2 different buttons on 2 consecutive frames. So 1 frame, 2 frame, 2 different buttons. 1 frame. If you use an arcade stick, the best way to do this is to drum 2 different fingers across 2 buttons. Yeah, so there's just like some shit that I don't think we need. Yeah. I think the other thing, right, with casuals, and I'm certainly not the first person to say this, but combos are the coolest thing in fighting games. Would anybody disagree that doing a combo is like the most satisfying, fun part of a fighting game? Everyone loves doing combos. Everyone knows that about fighting games. And so I think when you pick up a fighting game for the first time, you're like, oh my God, let me do these crazy combos. Like, I want to do combos. So you focus on the combos, but you don't even understand the basics, and so you can't do those combos, and so you get frustrated and you put the game down. Don't worry about combos, or at the very least, don't worry about long combos. Like, 2-hit combos are fine. If you go and you watch, right here, let me pull this up. Let's watch a super high level match of Street Fighter V. It's a good example of what I'm talking about. If you watch a super high level of match of Street Fighter V, yes, they will do combos. Yes, they will do crazy hit confirms. I still don't know how people consistently hit confirm out of a light. I cannot fucking do it for the life of me. But if you watch a high-level Street Fighter match, it's not just combos, right? It's mostly poking and neutral and whiff punishing. That's what it is. And then when they get the chance, yes, then they do a combo, but it doesn't happen that often. It really doesn't. It gets 2 like really good players that have good defense. So let's pull this up. Let's go Capcom Fighters, right? Who do we want to watch? Who do we want to watch? Because we've got like Punk and Idom, Smug and Brian F. I guess it doesn't really matter to prove my point, right? You'll see what I'm talking about regardless in like any of these matches. So let's watch Smug and Brian F.
Standing like comebacks. Low tier.
Am I still playing Guilty Gear? Great question. I'm not currently, but I'm signed up to it for Evo. And so I'm going to need to yesterday. So I'm totally planning on jumping back in. I've signed up for Guilty Gear, KOF, and Street Fighter. And so I kind of need to find a way to balance all of those. Marv, thank you for the 9 months. All right, let's watch this.
It don't matter. Honestly, go with that. Yeah. Play your best character that you're playing right now. If you had picked up the box, it would be real rusty with it. But this one, nice and shiny, chewed up gum, Oro, going against the G.
I love it.
Like, pretty much everything they're doing, right? They're not throwing anything out unsafe out there. They're not throwing out a random sweep,
out a little bit here.
Right? Because they know it would get punished. And then they know their characters. They know what they can get away with,
well as
and they know what's safe when it's
earlier.
blocked.
He was just hoping to see a button out of G. Absolutely could counterpoke that.
I signed up for Evo.
Mid-screen zone. We got to be careful with the flip kick.
I might, if I'm feeling cheeky, I might even sign up for more games. We'll just see. I'm kind of in the fuck it phase of Evo, where I just want to sign up for shit.
I don't think it's going to happen. Never mind. The ECP is just fine to seal the deal. The damage this character can do.
Nice. Good luck. Thank you.
Says you're through.
Not bad. So we didn't get to see the
Smug G kind of defeats the argument of short combos.
And you mentioned that Brian F was playing around. He was looking to low block, for example. He was looking to just not even be on the ground. Oh, he's going to get a punish here. Nice. Into some V-meter build. Whoa, into forbidden combos. Let's go, Brian.
Put the booger on the screen. Real mean. EX, hold that. With the throw. Try to get the jump in. Crouch fierce, denying that. The DP cross up. And that takes a lot of effort to do. Punish. No, didn't go for the grab right after. Here's the activation.
Finally, we see Smug with some real corner control. Block confirm. Trying
Do you guys want to
keep
watch the
Oro
greatest video of
stuck.
all time with me? Brian F's Oro is amazing. I've just been
Give me
watching
that
it recently.
V-meter.
And it's so good. Like, I had no interest in Oro, but Brian F makes it look fun. All right, do you guys want to watch the best video before we go? Let me see if I can find it. All right, we can't watch this whole thing. Is there a shorter version? Yeah, here it is. All right. If this doesn't make you love fighting games, nothing will. Are you ready to be entertained? Are you ready? Chat.
But that geef goes 0 to 60 real quick. Okay. All right. Well, I'm still thinking of a player. There's nobody I can think of that is trash, in my opinion, in 5. That, you know.
You know what? You suck in this game. How about that? You suck in this game. Oh, okay.
Is this about to happen?
Hey, everybody, why don't you
I'm
tweet
so
at
excited.
that Mike Ross guy with who you think sucks in this
He's
game?
focused. He's not even talking anymore.
Lair of the Four Kings.
Ooh.
You done.
You ain't a king anymore.
Who you want?
Pick whoever you want.
Who am I giving him? Am I giving him Laura
Your
or Birdie?
best character.
Am I giving you Laura or Birdie?
Your best character. Your
It
best
doesn't
character.
matter.
Your best character.
Who am I giving him?
Your
Flo,
best character.
Flo, who am I giving him?
I don't know who your best characters anymore because you don't play Birdie much anymore. You only play her.
Your best
But your
character.
Laura
Yeah, this
sucks.
was live. This was live on
Let's
Twitch.
go.
I mean, it's not now,
Laura,
obviously. But.
Let's go. Let's
Can
go.
Laura do it?
Sorry that we're out of turbos for the time being. We have an impromptu. I swear to God.
Don't lose this game, Red.
Yeah?
Let's go.
Yeah? My buttons better be right.
Your 17th will mean nothing.
You don't think I can block? I actually play fighting
Block
games.
all you want. Block that. Block all day. Block all day, scrub. Block all day.
Let's go, Mike.
Now, let me see something.
This is exactly the kind of energy that fighting games need.
Let me see something, Mike.
Stop doing that. Oh, no.
Let me see something.
Oh, no.
Oh, put your hand, Mike. If you don't put your hand back,
Mike, he knows.
Mike, come here. Stop running from me. Stop. No! Stop running from me, Mike. Told you, you ain't. This ain't your game, Mike.
What's
This ain't your
Mike?
game, Mike.
You got some?
We're waking up with.
That's pretty good
Okay,
stuff,
I like
Mike.
it.
I like it.
Oh, you done?
Mike, please.
Oh yeah, Mike.
Yo, Mike adapt?
That crossed up?
I mean, you're a Street Fighter player, you should know, right?
Nah, I don't know her.
Uh-oh.
Get your hands off me, Mike.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man. Oh, no.
Same side.
Oh, my God, Mike.
Oh, you lucky.
jab.
You definitely can't block. Okay, I'm learning.
It's one. Okay.
I'm learning.
What's it set? For 2 out of 3?
Whatever you want, just tell me. Just tell me what you want.
I like how no one said what they want. We have no idea what's happening.
Flo is so good in these, right? He finds the pocket of whatever the situation is and has a little jab, and then he's out. And then he'll jab, and then he's out. He's so good in this.
First to win, Mike
Oh, you
wins.
just walk up with it?
Yep.
Oh, stop that.
Okay. No. Stop
Oh, I
it.
like it.
Stop it.
I'm enjoying this. It's good.
Ooh,
Stop
okay.
it.
Okay.
Just keep talking,
Oh, let me see, let me see, let me
Keep
see.
talking. Why are you pressing buttons?
Hey, Brad, don't.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, you serious? Oh, you got me.
Oh, you don't even know what you're doing.
Oh, Mike.
Listen to how hard they're hitting those sticks.
Stop that.
Mayday.
Same thing again, K-Brad. Let's go. 1-0. We done? Is that it? Who sucks?
Okay.
Number 3 on the list, you. Number 2, you. Number 1, you. You ass. You ain't on my level.
Okay.
I should have entered final round.
You
I would
should
have got
have.
16th. What'd you get?
17.
Yeah.
Is that not the greatest pop-off of all time? I would have gotten 16th. What'd you get? 17th. Yeah!
I'm in shock.
Yup.
K-Brad.
How did... Man, you know
He's
what?
not even
You
sponsored.
suck. You aren't...
Oh, no.
You
Oh,
suck.
no.
You straight up, you really suck.
Yeah?
You really suck. Nope.
Yeah?
Come on, you know what?
Yeah?
After this round, Adam cut the show. He's never coming back here. Not until he steps his game up.
Yeah?
You...
Oh, no. Are we really the pros of the show, Mike?
Of course we are.
Yeah?
God. You're just
Yeah.
talk, K-Brad? You're just the talk?
Brad. Yup. No. Come on, dog.
You took my job for this? Really?
All right, this is when K-Brad works. Come on, dude.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, look at what happens next.
K-Brad, please.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank
Come on
you
down.
so much for watching Capcom Pro Talk 2-0. Get the stick out of your hand. Don't ever hold one of these again in front of me.
Be a pad player, you said. Because you don't deserve to hold these.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up,
I
pick it
ain't
up,
touching
pick it up,
nothing.
pick it up,
Don't
pick it
you
up,
dare
pick it up,
pick
pick it
up
up,
my
pick it
presents.
up, pick it up right
Yeah,
now.
you know what?
Pick it
Okay,
up right now.
I'll tell
Pick
you
it
what.
up, pick it
I'm
up
gonna
right
pick
now.
it up right now.
Pick it up
I
right
know how
now.
to work one of these. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to buy one of these nice awesome sticks.
Pick it up.
Thank you so much
hit
for
the button.
watching
Hit the button.
Capcom Pro
Shut up.
Talk.
Shut up and hit the
My
button.
name is Mike Ross.
Shut up and hit the
Thank you,
button.
Floji-san, for joining me today.
Put your
K-Brad
hands
as
on
a
the
special
stick.
guest.
Put your hand-
Thank you
put-
so much.
don't
I
touch
ain't even
me.
shaking
Don't
your hand.
touch
I should
me.
smack
Don't
your
touch
face.
me.
I should smack the stick out of your
Hit the-
hands
put
right
your
now.
hands on the stick right now.
I'm sorry.
Put your hands on the stick.
Mike Ross
Put
sucks.
your
Are you
hands on the stick.
serious?
Put your hands on the stick right now.
My hands are on the stick, but it
Play
doesn't
the
mean
game.
I'm gonna play you right now.
Play
because
the
until
game.
you step your game up, I'm not touching you. That's
Mike,
2-0.
how many majors you won? How many majors you won?
Brackets.
How many majors you won?
You wanna know how many majors I
Let me
won?
hear it.
0.
You're such a bum.
Thank you guys for watching. That's all the time we have for today. We'll see you next week.
It's too good, dude. It's too good, man. This is what I want back for Street Fighter 6. I want this energy, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Last was America. I'm saying. So why we died? It's like it's over.
For Ryu, I was playing Ryu.
I don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
First of all,
sorry, my bad.
I had to be.
We call that a privileged combo. That's what we call that. No, we can keep talking about this.
Thank you, thank you.
This was fun, chat. I went an hour over time. But this is fun for me. This is fun for me. Even my scrubby little self, I just love the joy of fighting games, man. It's so good. Hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed hanging out with me today. Sorry to anyone who doesn't like fighting games. But yeah, I don't know. This shit puts me in a good mood. I gotta train for Evo. Who wants to train with me? Who wants to train? We gotta play some Street Fighter. We gotta play some Strive. I'm thinking about entering MK11. What if I just enter? What's the roster for Evo 2022? Am I just gonna go fucking ape shit? Like, am I just gonna go wild? All right. So currently I'm registered for SF5, Strive, and KOF. I want to enter Melty Blood. I have never played 1 second of Melty Blood. I really do want to enter Grand Blue, and I kind of want to enter MK. Tekken would be awesome. I'm going to get blown up, but I'm going to get blown up in all these anyway, so who fucking cares? Fighters would be hype. I don't know if I have the mental capacity to put fighters training on. I don't know. Maybe we'll just go wild. Look at these moments, dude. Seth, come back, man. Seth and James and Jaywog. L.I. Joe. Look at this is what it's about, man. This is what it's about. Yeah, no, we're going too wild. I've already entered too many games in Evo. Is that Marn? Is that fucking Marn? Multiplayer is cool. I want to play multiplayer, I do. Man, Grand Blue is so much fun. It really is. I missed that game. I really liked it. Dude, you're so excited for Evo? Hell yeah, man. It's back. It's in person. Evo is back and in person. There's nothing to complain about. I mean, obviously, that's not true. There's plenty of real problems in the world. But, man, I don't know. It's fucking back, dude. We need some of that Mike Ross flow K-Brad energy. Don't make it too clean. Don't button up. Let people talk shit. It's more fun that way. Come on. And you know what, man? EVO Online was pretty sad. Dude, I entered EVO Online. It was pretty sad. It's just not the same. Like, I respect them for doing it. And, like, clearly they had to make that concession, right? But it is. It's not the same. You don't get this, right? You just don't fucking get this. You just don't get it. It's gone. Poof. Chad, I mean, I wanted to go to EVO because I wanted to go to EVO because EVO's awesome on its own. But like the cherry on top, man, is like I want to be there Sunday grand finals in the arena, right? If you've never experienced that in your life, I recommend that you go and experience it because it is some of the best energy I've ever felt anywhere. And I like concerts. I love music. Right? Way better than that. It was like, it's legitimately this picture in person. Everyone is just so fucking happy to be there. It's awesome. And what I can't wait for is to be in the arena on Sunday, right? And that Street Fighter 6 trailer drops, right? Just like when the Guilty Gear Strive trailer dropped and everyone lost their mind. Everyone lost their mind. When that Street Fighter 6 trailer drops off and people are just screaming like psychopaths, it's going to be amazing. When we see Tekken 8 for the first time, when we see that Tekken 8 teaser, people are going to lose their minds. This is me. I'm going to transform into this. Look at that. These pictures are so good. I'm obviously biased, right? Because I'm not involved in the competitive scene of other games. But I don't think at its best, there is a more fun, competitive gaming community than fighting games. I don't think one exists. I can't wait for Harada to show off Tekken 8 and then to say, don't ask me for shit. And it should happen exactly in that order.